Welcome back. What does it feel like to spend nearly 2 months in the hands of armed kidnappers, unsure whether you will ever see your family again? For the principal of Community High School, Isiele in Oyo State, the answer is one she says she will never forget. Speaking publicly for the first time after regaining her freedom, she described her survival as nothing short of a miracle, revealing that every day in captivity was a battle between fear, hope, and faith. Rachel Alamu, the principal of Community High School, Isiele, shared her emotional testimony during a Thanksgiving service at Antioch Baptist Church in Ogbomoso, after she and several other adoptees regained their freedom following weeks in captivity, describing the experience as the most traumatic period of her life.
Apart from seeing the hand of God right from the beginning, the 7th week was the hardest for us all. That was when the troop increased their hair rates. It was so intense and persistent that at a point, the fear of the bandits became secondary. We were just praying that missiles will not be accidentally dropped on us. But God kept us because we were so exposed, only covered with polythene bags and grasses. So amidst that fear, God consoled our hearts. And that week, it started on Monday. They had told us the previous week that the governor said that before Friday the next week we will be released. So we were calm. But when the hearing started on Tuesday, they become so furious. So towards the end of that week, the commander came, said, "Principal, come." I was already shaking because I know what that could mean. So immediately I got there and said, "See what your government has done. I'm going to kill one of you today." Hey, I just fell down, rolling on the ground. I brought 4 men. There are only 2 remaining. You still want to take another one? I already know that the knowledge of the other 2 will continue to haunt me for a long time. I was just rolling on the ground. And unlike him, he became calm. He became calm. He said they should call me, that when he left our place, that I should come. He said, "Now that the government has been doing this, what do you want us to do?" I said, "What you asked for is beyond any of the victims' family. Just ask for what we can run around for." He said, "Okay, I will send your message." I thought that had gone. Later in the night, we started hearing shovels walking. My men, the 2 of them, were shouting, "Mama, Mama, lo shovel, I'm on guru shovel." Money, one shisha kan lowo ni. I was crying as I was saying because we all knew what that meant. They were about to bury another person. So those 2, they were shouting, they were pleading, "Mama, eba won soro." Mama ke, kini mama fe se? But to the glory of God, that night, they just asked us to move because they could no longer stay in that place. Himself, he will be asked to stay there. And they said, "Mama, principal, tell them we are ready to sacrifice any one of them if they make noise. They cannot kill all of us." How do you tell a 1 year, 3 months baby that do not cry? How do you tell a 2-year-old that you must not ask for food? Those periods, they were not free to prepare food because they were afraid that smoke will rat them out. So we go hungry most of the time. But to the glory of God, we left that camp to the last camp before we were rescued and released. While I was there, apart from praying for God's release, I specifically asked for 2 things. 1, I prayed that I will not meet an empty house. I knew how strong my husband's health is. So at a point when they told me that he has closed the line of communication, I said, something has happened to him. He wouldn't have done that on his own. So when we were rescued, I was so persistent that one of the armies had to put a call through to him that I should talk to him. So I knew God answered that prayer. The other thing I specifically asked was my health. The place was so terrible that anything could have happened that place. I just told God, my grave should not be numbered in the forest. And God helped me. We were in a place that when you are shaking with fever, the first question is it malaria you have or fever? And the solution is 2 tablets of paracetamol. At worst, Bosca, or whatever they call that name. That last week on Sunday, because of the stress I had gone through on the 7th week, I broke down. My temperature was on the roof and I was shaking. So I just called one of them, the camp commandant, Oga, can I have 2 tablets of paracetamol? I said, no problem. The woman sitting next to me said, Mommy, this is not paracetamol. I said, God will work with it. I used that paracetamol, and to the glory of God, it was as if I was never having the symptoms of malaria. So God saw us. It was God's hand. The release was miraculous. Nobody, I cannot say this is what happened. And just like that man in Luke who said, Toh, they were asking him, this man is a sinner, this man is this man. I said, I don't know, but what I know, I was blind, but now I can see. I know that I was incarcerated for a period of time, and at the right time, God rescued me and brought me into the midst of my people. So I give glory unto the Lord.
Alamu said she believed only divine intervention brought her and the other victims safely home. Her testimony has renewed public attention on the growing security challenges facing schools and rural communities across Nigeria. Addressing members of the congregation, Alamu said words could hardly describe everything she experienced while in the custody of the kidnappers. She compared her experience to the biblical account of the blind man in the Gospel of Luke, explaining that although she could not fully explain how her freedom came about, she knew that God had rescued her at the appointed time. According to her, surviving the ordeal was a miracle that she would never stop thanking God for. The principal disclosed that throughout her captivity, she prayed constantly for 2 things. First, she prayed that she would return home to find her husband alive, explaining that she was deeply concerned because of his fragile health. Secondly, she prayed that she would not die in the forest. She said she repeatedly asked God not to allow her grave to be in the wilderness, believing that if she kept her faith, she would one day return safely to her family. According to her, military operations around the kidnappers' hideout intensified significantly, with repeated aerial bombardments targeting criminal camps in the surrounding area. Although the operations were intended to weaken the kidnappers, the captive also feared they could become unintended victims of the bombardments. Alamu said that at one point the fear of the kidnappers became less frightening than the fear of their air raids. She explained that every explosion forced the captive to pray that no missile would accidentally strike the area where they were being held. According to her, despite their vulnerable position in the open forest, she believes God protected every one of them throughout the military operations. The principal also described how the kidnappers became increasingly agitated after hearing reports that the government had announced the hostages would soon regain their freedom. According to her, the criminals reacted angrily as the military operations intensified, believing that security forces were closing in on their location. The growing pressure reportedly created an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty inside the camp. She recalled being summoned by the commander of the kidnappers, a moment she believed would have been her last.
He said they should call me, that when he left our place, that I should come. He said, now that the government has been doing this, what do you want us to do? I said, what you asked for is beyond any of the victims' family. Just ask for what we can run around for. I said, okay, I will send your message. I thought that had gone. Later in the night, we started hearing shovels walking. My men, the two of them, were shouting, Mama, one more thing, low shovel, I'm on guru shovel. Money, one shisha kan lowo ni. I was crying as I was saying, because we all knew what that meant. They were about to bury another person. So, those two, they were shouting, they were pleading. Mama, eba won soro. Mama ke, kini mama fe se? But to the glory of God, that night, they just asked us to move because they could no longer stay in that place.
Although the relocation brought temporary relief, the uncertainty surrounding their fate continued until they were eventually released. The principal also spoke about the severe hunger the captives endured during their time in the forest. She explained that the kidnappers were often afraid to cook because smoke from fires could reveal their location to security forces. As a result, both the criminals and their captives frequently went without adequate food, making survival even more difficult as the weeks passed. The kidnapping that led to Alamu's captivity shocked many Nigerians. Armed men attacked Baptist Nursery and Primary School, Yawota Community Grammar School, Isiele and LA Primary School in Oruri local government area, adopting dozens of school children and teachers. The attack also claimed lives, while one of the adopted teachers, Michael Oyedokun, was later killed in captivity, further deepening public outrage over the incident. The mass adoption triggered nationwide concern and protests, with many Nigerians demanding stronger protection for schools and tougher action against criminal groups responsible for kidnappings. Educational activities in the affected communities were disrupted as authorities temporarily closed schools while security agencies intensified efforts to secure the release of the victims. After spending 56 days in captivity, Alamu and the other adoptees eventually regained their freedom. While the circumstances surrounding their release have continued to attract public interest, her testimony offers a rare first-hand account of the physical and emotional challenges faced by kidnapping victims. Her story has also renewed calls for stronger security across schools and rural communities to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. As investigations into kidnapping activities continue across different parts of Nigeria, Alamu's testimony serves as a powerful reminder of the human cost of insecurity. For her, survival was a miracle. For many Nigerians, her experience reinforces the urgent need for sustained effort to protect lives, secure communities, and ensure that no family has to endure the pain of waiting for loved ones held captive by armed criminals. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you find this report informative, kindly like, share, and subscribe for more news reports. I'm Chidera Isom. Thanks for watching. Do have a beautiful day.